Yeah, we were all seated. I was seated among a group of representatives in the gallery of the House, right next to the press. That's on the left-hand side as you're looking at the podium. You know, everyone was sitting there observing the solemn proceedings. But then I started getting alerts on my phone about shelter in place. This is not a drill. And then I started getting text messages saying people are at the Capitol, protesters at the Capitol trying to get in. And then I got a text saying protesters are in the Statuary Hall. It was a couple of minutes later, I had left the top row and gone down to the bottom to kind of look and see what was going on. And I saw them whisk the speaker out. And then they said to us, all in the House, someone said, reach under your chair and get your gas mask out and be ready to put it on. And meanwhile, people were being led off the floor. So we finally got to the other side. There were a group of members all the way at that door. I was at the tail end, so that's where you see that picture. And that's when the shot rang out, a single shot. Sounded like it was right below us outside. And it was several minutes later that they gave us the order to, let's go. But when we got out there walking towards the steps, I could see what looked to me like a floor full of people spread eagled on the floor, face down, being held at gunpoint. So at that point, we exited down the steps and went to a secure location. And so, of course, to leave the zone of danger was good, but we had no idea of the scope of what was going on. We had no idea. But it was a traumatic experience. I've described it as harrowing. But now, a couple of days later, I realized how traumatizing it was and how traumatized I am. Yeah, the Capitol Hill police officers on the ground were put in an untenable position. They were not equipped for a riot, as they would have been if the threat had been the Black Lives Matter protesters. And it stands to reason, why were they not equipped as if there would be a riot? Donald Trump had been telling people for weeks to mobilize and be in DC. We all know how big a crowd he can garner, so they should have known that the crowd was going to be there. Yeah, this man is a clear and present danger with the remaining 13 days that he has. He's unhinged, and he is acting like a lunatic. We can't afford to let a madman continue to run free with the power of the presidency, putting us all at risk. So we can't control what the Senate does. We can control what the House does. And the first step in conviction and removal lies with impeachment in the House. And so that's what I believe we will do next week if the Vice President does not invoke the provisions of the 25th Amendment.